Run VT, Errol.
Take me back to the 80s, golden girls playing on the TV, mixtapes and VHS. Oh, oh, oh. Take me back to the 80s, Beetlejuice, Ghostbusters and the Goonies, mixtapes and VHS.
Oh, I won't sing the rest. But welcome. Welcome, Captain.
Yes. Why?
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
First
Thank you
time
very
on my
much.
channel. Yeah, we do. Normally on Rob's, don't we?
Yeah. Thank you very much. Now,
Today we're discussing the Captain's time in a video store.
oh yeah, yeah.
What decade was that?
That was let's see, 97. So 986 years ago. Back in 97. Yeah,
Bloody hell,
that's about right.
So we're going to tell some tales. I've got some stories to tell. The Captain's got some stories to tell.
Mm-hmm.
I myself never worked in a video store. I can be trusted. So,
Yeah.
So I've got a couple of short ones here. Let's have a look. So the late fee dispute. This one's called. Their excuse: they can't return movies on time because they are because they drive a BMW. I'm not sure how that was relevant, and they own 3 houses, but that stopped them returning movies on time. So,
Well, that's hey man, that's a good reason. I can totally understand that. I guess just all the money was getting in their way and they couldn't walk.
Yeah.
Like it was just piles of money everywhere, and they just
Can't
couldn't get
out the door
around.
for this money.
Yeah,
They're too-
I totally understand. Totally understand.
And then we've got another one. Customers stopped lining up at my till. Woman pointed to the floor to a pile of puke. Someone's kid had vomited on the floor and didn't say anything to us.
Wow,
Happens all the
that's
time.
yeah, it's kind of rude. I
Yeah,
mean, usually
Oh my god,
usually-
my son's been sick.
usually when I puke in public, I try to tell somebody that I did. Of course, usually people know because you can hear it. It sounds really bad.
Yeah, the kid must have been sneaky.
Yeah, sneaky
one more.
puker.
This is from Sage. There wasn't enough Asians in this. I want $2 of my $7 back. Yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's always nice when
Have representation.
when the customer blames the video store for the movie's quality. It's like we didn't make the movie. Like it doesn't work that way. Take it up with Spielberg. You know, whatever.
Would love to. Yeah, shame you didn't put which film it was, but yeah, if there's only
Yeah.
2% off, 20% Asians in it, and it's not enough. I don't know what film it
I don't know.
was.
It
Not
didn't.
the Joy Luck Club, obviously.
No, obviously not. No, no, or Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I guess it didn't meet their diversity quota, and they didn't like it.
Yeah, that was probably going back a bit as well.
Yeah, they were setting the bar. They were trendsetters. That was before. They were pioneers.
Before the internet. Hey, Ian, welcome. Wow, you're early. Yes, on time for this one.
Yeah.
Evening, Savoy. Equalizer's here to make sure we behave. So,
Yeah, good.
yeah,
Good.
I'm gonna sit back and relax and sit and hear the tales of terror.
Yeah. Let's see.
What do you got?
Well, it was the summer of 1997. It was my first job. Okay. First job, and we had it was. I grew up in a small town, and oddly enough, we had 2 video stores relatively close to each other. And mind you, this was, I mean, like Blockbuster Video and like Hollywood Video, like the big chain videos. That really wasn't a thing around here at the time where I grew up. And like a lot of towns, like Blockbuster really wasn't a thing. So video stores really relied on the mom and pop like aspect. And usually any town had at least 2 or 3 video stores in them that were run by mom and pop kettle. And that's just how it was, like real small business. So we had 2 in my town. One was sort of, I don't know, you could say classier. The other one, not so much. The other one was just like sleaze, and it had just really sleazy stuff. But I didn't work at that one. I worked at the classier one called the Video Gallery. And this is a store that my family had frequented for basically ever since we got a VCR in the 80s. Like and so this store started off in like this little old antique store, but then they grew, and the small town like had like this new plaza built, and it was all the rage, brand new plaza, and the Video Gallery was one of the first stores to go in there, and that's where I worked. And well, it was just a totally different experience. And to explain to somebody nowadays who didn't grow up in that generation with video stores what a video store was, let alone working in one, it's a little bizarre to really explain what it is. It's kind of like a library for movies, but you paid for them. You know what I mean? Like you would borrow stuff, but you paid for them, and as long as you brought them back on time, without everything was fine.
Crazy.
Yeah, and but as a clerk at a video store, it was almost like the doctor-patient confidentiality clause, where it's like, as a lawyer, I can't disclose things about my client to anybody. So I knew what everybody in town rented. And let me tell you, some of these people rented some pretty gnarly stuff, man. We had a back room. Obviously, there was an adult section. And I knew what people's kinks were, what they were into. I didn't want to know, but I was forced to know through the job of checking them out. I knew exactly what everybody's fetish was, and including my dad's. So he was a customer, and I knew everything he had rented, and you wish you didn't, but that's what it was. And speaking of that, it was interesting because I was only 17 at the time. Legally, I really wasn't allowed to handle pornography or even see just the tape, because you have to be 18 or older, at least, in the US, that's how it is. So there was that, but obviously nobody cared. They just said, put the tapes back, put the cards back where they were. And, that's how it is. But yeah, so there a lot of porn. That's when I discovered the film Edward Penis Hands. Classic now. Yeah, it's a classic now. Couldn't believe, what I saw when I saw the box. I was like, is this for real? It's just, wow. What a great time. What a great time. Tremendous selection for a small video store. A lot of selection, not just porn. They had a lot of porn, of course, but they had a lot of their horror section was just phenomenal and this old couple that ran it, you wouldn't suspect that. They were like a real, God-fearing couple that, I'm surprised they had horror movies. I'm totally surprised they had porn, but they knew where the money was. That's what, they knew what money was. So that's what they liked. But man, the horror section was just oh God, I remember seeing tapes on those shelves, and these tapes nowadays fetch pretty high prices, very sought after, I don't know, like Blood Diner, Terror Vision, I Spit on Your Grave, Sleepaway Camp, Faces of Death, all this stuff, the original releases, they were all right there, and I just remember seeing the box art and just being holy shit, this, I'm just scared looking at the box art, like Street Trash. That box art is gotta be it's gotta be the best. It's gotta be horrific picture, just a horrific picture, it's just a great, it just tells you what the movie's about right there, because that movie is disgusting. And if I never see it again, I'm okay with that, really. Once is enough, so it's just tremendous selection. They had the wrestling videos they have, which also fetch a pretty high price nowadays. They had all kinds of stuff, like AWA stuff, just unlicensed, house shows from WWF at the time, just Japanese barbed wire matches. It's all this weird, underground wrestling stuff, and I just couldn't believe that they had it. And it was just, I was really, really privileged to work there, and I sort of took it for granted at the time, because at the time I had no idea that it would pretty much be my destiny that would lead me down a path of VHS in my later life, where everything revolves around VHS. So of course my first job was working at a video store, and so I'm glad to have that experience. And it was a pretty fun time. So it's so I mean, what I've gathered from you, Gareth, is in the UK, your video stores were basically out of people's houses. Is that what you said before?
The one I went. Well, yeah, the three I went to, because they were in three different towns. Because I was in the countryside, so I had to travel 20 minutes to get there.
Well,
most of them were just converted rooms. Yeah, thinking about it, they were nothing fancy.
I remember you saying that before when we were on
And then
the
we never had porn
popping on
section.
screen.
It was all you had to go to a special shop for porn videos.
Oh, really? They didn't have them
Yeah.
in the same shop?
No.
How about that?
So yeah, they were all the sexy films were in a porn shop. No.
Yeah. Yeah. Well. Yeah. It's.
Yeah, we had a couple of top shelf ones. You could have well, I think Flash Gordon was there, and
Oh, of course, Flash Gordon, classic.
Strap on Sally. But yeah, they're all all the penetration was taken out of anything.
Wow.
So what's the point?
Yeah. Yeah. It's.
Electric.
Yeah. What
Blue
is the point?
were the
That's
famous
interesting.
ones.
Yeah, that's interesting. I could tell you that none of the tapes that the video gallery had were censored at all. There was no censorship there. Just complete full-fledged sex disaster. That's all it is. Yeah, it was great. Great stuff.
Let's just see who's in the chat. Oh, sorry, I missed everyone.
Ooh.
Right, there we go. Straight to the top. My local independent video store was in a village and had one wall of videos that seemed to have rented so much stuff there from there I can't explain. Yeah.
Yeah.
We had some convenience stores as well, didn't you?
Yeah. That was another thing. Around where I grew up, and I'm guessing it was a trend in like pretty much every town where it was, you had like your mom and pop video stores. If your city was big enough, you might have had a Blockbuster, but really what's the point of going there when you had all these other options? You know, I mean, literally every store rented videos. Yeah. I remember like every grocery store in the area had like a little video store section where you, like a video club where you could like, you know, get a membership and rent from them. And, you know, while you're picking up your rhubarb, you can also pick up a copy of Ass Assassin 5. And
that's the best one.
Yeah, exactly. It's totally pushed the others to shame. It really brings the story together. You really need that.
Yeah, it brings it all together from the beginning.
Because Ass Assassin 4 just left it all hanging. Excuse the pun. And like, you know, department stores would have their own little like video clubs, and I mean that's where, I don't know. Did you have Errol's Video Club over in the UK?
Doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah, Errol's Video Club. Well, that was like a big franchise in the States, but I'm sure they had like freestanding buildings, but mainly what they were was just like little pop-up shops in other stores, like grocery stores, department stores. So like Errol's Video Club, that was like a big name. We had a couple of those around here, and but for the most part, it was just like, in like every block, it seemed like there was a video store, and it seemed like they all had like different stuff. And for a time, like, of course, I would always visit them. And I was like, goddamn, how many movies are there? Like, there's movies I've never even heard of in this place. And, you know, it was just fascinating to see that stuff. Especially when everybody started renting Nintendo games. That is a game changer. That is when I totally would frequent every video store I saw, because everybody had different games. And, you know, they would have games that one store didn't. And looking back, I mean, most of those games for the Nintendo were absolute rubbish. Like, they were just this dog shit. Like, wow, you know, but I wanted to play them anyway. And by God, I did. So, yeah.
Back when we had time to play games.
Yeah, back when you had time. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, Andy's enjoying the show so far. Thank you, Andy. Hello, Jim. How are you? One of the last times I talked to someone who works in an independent video shop, they said the worst adult stuff got rented all the time.
Well, I believe it. Yeah.
I was 11. What's Bob say? I was 11. I was allowed to rent any film, the same as me. My local shop didn't care as long as they were getting the money. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. If your money's green, man, that's how it was over here.
Because my dad had to pick the videos up on the weekend, but I chose them on during the week. So can I book this one for the weekend at least?
Yeah.
Oh, see, Jim worked in a mom and pop.
Oh, wow.
The porn section.
Wow.
Yep, they came off the shelves pretty quick.
Oh, that blew the lid off, man. That was she's how old? Oh God. Pluck my eyes out, for heaven's sakes. What the hell? Who let that slip? That's a pretty big mistake.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah.
A fake ID, you say?
Oh.
Surely not in this.
Well, I mean, you didn't even check?
Birth certificate as a double check, yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, hang on, before I continue, because my mom and pop video shop they were husband and wife, but he seemed to spend a month of in the autumn in Thailand, but
Oh wow! Oh.
So it's just
that reminds me of a joke. This guy comes running out into the lobby crying and says, "It's a boy," and his friend says, "Well, that's the last time we go to Thailand." Yes. Sorry.
Oh dear. Oh dear.
Now we're getting canceled over that one.
Movie Mads here. Welcome. My wife used to work in a video store, but that was long before I met her. She said they didn't have adult section, just a box of 40 tapes.
Wow.
Under the counter. Yeah, that was it. It was under the counter in our country.
Wow, that's interesting.
Hardcore stuff, but it wasn't on show. You had to know the secret code to get it from the behind the counter.
So you actually had to ask somebody. That must have been really, really embarrassing. It's like, hey, I'm a degenerate. I'm sinking into depravity. Can I see your box? Your secret box?
Yeah. The box, please.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that reminds me. Yeah, I got this message from Justin. He said, I was working at the coolest independent video store when I was 14 to 15. We had everything rare and out of print. The town preacher would always come in my shift and rent 3 or 4 pornos.
Wow.
When it was discovered that he was screwing 2 women, came out, everyone was shocked, but I wasn't.
Yeah, see, he had the inside. He knew all along. He had the inside scoop. Yeah, he knew what was going on. It's a naughty priest, man.
Yeah, my local video shop rentals was East Island in the 80s. Oh, there you go. Basically, a converted terraced house. The owner lived upstairs. It was a treasure trove of amazing horror comedy and posters. Exactly. Yeah. What was your shop like? Is it like my shop in the background here?
It was. Yeah, it was.
Was it all?
Yeah, I would say it's pretty. That's pretty much the model of like, because like the new, because when it was the new building, like when it was the old antique shop, it looked just like that. Like it was really small too. Like as they started to grow, they had to get to a bigger building. I think that was probably about 1990s when they moved. So they had like just too much stuff. And that newer store, I mean, I'd say it resembled more like a Blockbuster sort of setup where they had like, center shelves, like like shelving units, and they had wall shelves too, but that's basically what it was like. Now the Video Land, the sleazy video store in my town, that was like a pretty just like run down kind of building. Now I think then it became a karate dojo after it closed, and then it became a barber shop. But it was just stuff on the walls, and it served its purpose. Yeah, but yeah, the model was definitely what you have in the background there. And of course, they had like just the posters all over the place, and that guy had mentioned posters. Yeah, because like all these video stores would eventually sell their old promo posters, and they usually had some pretty cool stuff. Like if I had a brain in my head back then, I would have picked some of them up, but I never did. And
I was saying, I'll buy this one, 10p. I don't want this one.
It's like, but now like an original Texas Chainsaw Massacre Part 2 promo poster goes for like $75 when it like ripped. You know what I mean? Like it's like, okay, I could have had it, but whatever. Could have had it for 50 cents.
In the UK, it was banned after it came out here.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly, because I know, like for Texas Chainsaw 2, there was a promo poster that the sleazy video store had hanging up on the wall. And it was just like, it was a long poster, and it was just like, it was a picture of the chainsaw, and there was a bowl of baked beans with like a hand coming out of it. It was, you could find it on eBay, but it was for the video cassette. I wish I had that just to have it, and it's almost impossible to find. You can find them, but they're really expensive. It was just such an absurd, absurd picture. Yeah, it was great, man. It was great, and like the stand-ups, the standees, like all the other like
the amount of standee that they just must have ripped up.
Yeah.
In the bin.
Oh yeah, they didn't give 2 shits about those standees.
Oh, the next video's out. Let's get rid of this.
Yeah, get them out of my face. Yeah, it's like, just get them out of my face. How many of these Cool World standees can I have? Because that was a big one. Like that was like a scale size, like Kim Basinger cartoon thing, and for that piece of garbage movie.
Yes. Ben's here. Good evening, Ben.
Hello.
Rusty. here in the UK, my local shop had one copy of each film because the shop
Yeah.
was so small. But I still
That
loved it.
was
So much to
that
say,
was
yeah.
that's how it was too at at all these little video stores.
Mm.
You only had one, so if it wasn't in, you didn't watch it.
Yeah.
I mean, like Blockbuster having like multiple copies, that was something that was like revolutionary at the time. Like usually video stores didn't do that. I mean, at most they might have 2 copies of Terminator 2 when it came out because they knew it was going to be big, but usually it was like one and done, man. If it's out, you're not watching it tonight.
Yeah,
you know?
I guess what was it? They had to pay here. They had to pay about £70, and then rent it for about £1.50, £2. So they'd have to sell it 35, rent it 35 times just to break even.
Yeah, that's it. Makes sense. That's how the industry was.
Yeah.
I mean, as anybody knows who's into VHS or home video at all, it's like that's how they started. Like when VHS became a thing, they weren't really selling them to people. Like it was like just retail stores for renting. Like that's why they were so expensive.
Yeah.
But that's also why you get like an old VHS of something. It's like heavy. Like it'll outlive you essentially. Like it's supposed to last. Like you played multiple times, and then you get like the budget stuff that was released in the 90s that was sold at Walmart's. It's like they're just like really just terrible. These little thin release. Yeah, it's like well, it was $10, so I can't really complain about my copy of Cannonball Run 2. So I got it for $5 at Target.
UK, that one.
Yeah.
Professor's here. Welcome, Professor.
Hey, Macabro.
Captain, he's glad to see you.
Oh, thank you, Professor. I'm glad to be here. I'm very happy Gareth asked me to be on.
Well, I knew I needed an expert for this first one. One of my favorite video store memories is someone rented the Fly 2 and lent it to me, and I lent it to someone else, and we tried to get it back the same day.
Wow, that's a fiasco.
Yes.
I remember, I don't know, did your video store do the reservation thing? Like you could reserve a movie?
Yeah, some of them did.
Because we did here. You could reserve a movie. I remember doing that, reserving a movie. Like, what? Okay. It's just so, even me being in the game back then, like thinking about it now, it's just so bizarre. Like that was the way of life. Like the video store was one of your stops. Like you went to the grocery store, the hardware store, and what dildo store, whatever you needed to go to, video store was on the list. That was like one of the stops, and you went there all the time. Didn't matter Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And I remember at the video gallery they had a special. If you rented something on Friday, you could keep it out till Monday morning. So yeah.
I got this.
Yeah.
What could you possibly watch that many times?
I don't know. I tried. I got
when Ghostbusters came out to rental. I rented it probably the day it came out. Well, booked it, as you say, for the day it came out. My dad brought it back, and we watched it 3 times in a row.
Yeah, there you go. Wow, in a row? That's a lot.
My what was I, 13 or something? And a friend's over for a video club from school over on the Saturday.
Wow. Yeah. Well, good old days, man. Good old days. Simple times. We always heard our parents and grandparents say that. Now we're saying it, and we absolutely understand what they meant. Like, yeah, that was a simple time.
It was ridiculous. Yeah, that's how it was.
It was great.
Jim, at one point in the 80s, I worked in a theater and a video store.
I would say, yeah, you had it, man.
That was a good one.
Yeah, you're knee deep in it then. Oh my God.
It's just the lovely now post 18 Tracy Lords is quite lovely. Yes.
Yeah. We can say this now. Yeah.
Now she's a legit actress as well.
Oh, is she? Okay.
Yeah.
She was great. Yeah, that's right. And she was great in Fast Food. That was a great film.
I don't think what else she's done. So I hated waiting for the film to come back. If you book the film and you turn up, because they say, it'll be back by 7 in the evening, just turn up and we'll pick it up then. And then it turns out that they haven't brought it back. So I wait? Do I go home?
Yeah. It was just because they said it had to be back at a certain time didn't mean it was going to be. I mean, you got a lot of naughty people who really broke the rules. I'll bring it back at 7:05.
Yeah. Apparently,
Yeah.
if you with Blockbuster, if you snuck past them and put it back on the shelf, once they did a recount, they realized it was already there, and then you wouldn't have to pay the late fees.
Oh, about that. Well, that's their fatal flaw because usually the model for any video store, like mom and pop style store, was they didn't have the tape on the shelf. Like they just had the case, the cover.
Yes.
And like you had usually they had like a little card that was, congruent with whatever. And you took the card up to the register to say, I want to rent this. We go get the movie for you. And it came in like this, like beige clamshell with like a typed label.
Yeah. I should
It
have
says like
examples, but I don't.
Yeah. It says like, here's, Butt Pirates 3, have it back by tomorrow or we'll kill you.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. But yeah, it was good times. Good times. Yeah. And the Nintendo games, they were the same deal. You just had like a card. You took up the card and they would give you the game, and it came like this blue little clamshell case, and it had the booklet with it, but it was like this Xerox.
Sometimes it didn't, and sometimes they wrote passwords into.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's how I beat Castlevania 2 because of some cheater, some really helpful guy wrote all the codes on the back, and I flew right through it. But it was like this really like crappy Xeroxed copy of the booklet. You really could barely read it because it was just so like bad. And there was a charge if you didn't bring back the booklet. There was like a 50-cent charge. I'm like, yeah, you guys.
It's not like they could replace it, is it?
Yeah, I was like, you guys are harsh. Well, they wanted you to learn a lesson. Like if you take something out, you bring it back the way you got it. And to tell you the truth, when I worked there, I don't really recall anybody like bringing something back late, or bringing something back damaged or anything like that. It was like everybody really followed the rules and everybody respected the rules. So that was cool. Yeah, it's cool.
I love the NES. So many nostalgic memories, but yeah, other than the core Nintendo made games that have got Konami stuff, the majority of this library garbage.
Yeah,
NES is better.
It really is. I mean, especially now with like channels like the Angry Video Game Nerd, and like there's all these channels that review old NES games, and you just the games like you sort of like even forgot you played. You're like, I remember that game. Like, yeah, but you remember it being at least sort of good, but then you watch it again, you're like, no, that wasn't good at all, was it? I was the one who was crap. If I thought that was good, I'm total garbage. It's most of that stuff. I would say, man, I'd venture to say that 80% of those games were bad, of the entire library of the NES. I would say that's, oh man, it was a huge number.
Yeah. What's Jim say? I'm so old. I remember going to the video store and having to specify if you wanted something in VHS or beta. Only an idiot would have beta. Like Al Bundy.
Yeah, that was something that. I don't remember any video store around my area as a kid that had beta. Like it was always VHS. That's just how it was. And I mean, hey, the writing was on the wall back then. Like beta just wasn't going to last. You know what I mean? Even the early like 80, I think it was like 87, 86, like as far back as I can remember going into a video store. It was all just VHS. I never even known anybody that even had a Betamax player. Like Betamax just wasn't a thing. Like
no, I never saw any tapes until last year or the year before, and I picked up some locally for free, some tapes, and that was the first time I'd seen a beta tape ever.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're cool. Like now, it's like they're so rare. Like you just don't see them. And I remember it was years ago. I found one of the earlier George Carlin specials when he had long hair. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was Occupation Full, like one of the earlier ones. But it was on beta because I saw it. I was like, well, what the hell is this? It's before I even knew what a Betamax looked like. I said, what is this? It's like a tiny VHS tape. And I was like, oh, this is a beta. And so I got it, at 50 cents. I was like, I have no way to play this. But I don't care. I don't care.
Recorded tapes. I can't see what's on them.
Yeah. I don't care. I just wanted it,
Yeah, because the beta recorders are silly money.
Yeah. And I heard something interesting that Betamax tapes really didn't stop being made until 2015. So I'm not sure of the accuracy of this. I'm sure there's like an asterisk there. I'm also sure that it was pretty much all just like blank tapes, not like commercial movies. It had to be. But it's like, that's what I read somewhere. And I was like, that's kind of amazing to think of that, if that's true.
So crazy it's true.
Yeah. So I was like, I mean, it's probably like in India somewhere, like some like small country. You know, it's like there's no way that anybody's still buying Betamax.
Still waiting for the second Godfather on a beta.
Yeah, they'll get it. They'll get it. You know, it's just so interesting.
So we're supposed to feel sorry for Mike the Real Fifth Beatle. He's up in Loch Ness in the pub, so he's probably enjoying it.
I see.
Oh yes, he's 6-year-old film buff and loved mum and pop stores.
Hey, Russell, what's going on, buddy?
Yeah, because it was very late 90s before I moved to the city and saw my first Blockbuster.
Yeah,
so I was on DVDs by then.
Yeah, in my area, I think we got a Blockbuster like in like the bigger city, the bigger town, like 15 miles north of the town I grew up in. They got a Blockbuster, I think, in like 96 and 97. I mean, by that time I was like, I'm not renting movies from Blockbuster. It was almost like a sin to go there. Like, it's like, I'm going to support my local store. I'm not going to go to Blockbuster. They don't need my money, you know. But I did go there to get Doink the Clown's autograph in 96. But, yeah, he was there. Doink the Clown, baby. It wasn't the original Doink. It was the second Doink. And, yeah. But he was still drunk. It was fun. Different Doink, same drunk piece of shit.
Yeah. Say the same about me.
Yeah.
She just said box was on full display. She walked in. It was a chain up store called M&I Video Entertainment. They had about 8 stores. There you go. So this box of porn was on display. There you go. Not even trying to hide it.
Yeah, it's a box of filth.
I do cherish your friendship, Captain Adam.
Well, I cherish yours, Gareth. I am really happy to know you. This is good stuff, man.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, the hot chick. Sorry, Rob.
Yeah.
No hot
Sorry,
chicks.
man.
I should have changed the put up Captain's face on her body.
Sorry. Yeah, that I've seen that picture a lot. Like, usually if like you Google image search
find of an attractive female working in a
it's like you Google anything like VHS related, like the image search, that's like one of them that always pops up. I've seen that for years. I'm like, I wonder what that's from, and I wonder if they know how much that's used, because I've seen a lot of people use that picture. It's just like
every time I search video store counter, that's top of the list.
Why not? It's the best one. I mean, yeah, she's pretty good looking, and if anybody's ever been into a video store, that's also not the case.
Yeah, Captain Adam was
yeah,
there.
yeah, exactly. I mean, you're not going to find that behind the counter of a video store. Sorry, you just weren't going to.
No, I know when they do flashback episodes, it's in Scream, it's a young nerd who loves horror films.
Yeah. So if you're disappointed in the thumbnail for this stream, wait till you check out reality, because it's even worse. Yep.
I had a preview theatrical one-sheet poster of Return of the Jedi before the title was changed. Oh, Revenge of the Jedi before it was Return.
Oh man, that's
a copy of the shit.
That's terrible, dude.
That's bad.
Yeah, because that's like platinum. That shit's gold.
Yeah,
Revenge of the Jedi.
My posters. I only had Cobra and Commando and stuff like that, but Die Hard.
Yeah, but still,
yeah, I would have loved them now.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, any of that stuff, it's just cool to have. Like original posters. And
you look on eBay for a standee of anything, you're not
minimum forget it.
£100 for a little one. I've only got a Mission Impossible 2 one that's just a small poster on a piece of card, but
yeah, if it comes to you in decent shape too, that's the thing. Find them in good shape, Yeah,
because they would not.
They do not hold up. No, because I received as a very nice gift one Christmas. Somebody got me. It was a video store promo for Star Trek 4, the Voyage Home, otherwise known as the one with the whales, and also probably the best Star Trek movie, in my opinion, at least.
Ooh.
But there was a promo display, and it was an inflatable Enterprise that had Star Trek 4 on it,
Oof.
and you're supposed to like hang it up from the ceiling.
Yeah.
And the problem is there's like a slow leak somewhere. It doesn't stay inflated. I still have it. I still love it, but it's just
cool.
it's too bad, man. Like that stuff just doesn't last. It wasn't meant to last. You know what I mean?
No, exactly.
That promo stuff was meant to be disposable.
Cases or videos they weren't thinking, oh, someone will want to play this in 40 years.
Yeah, exactly. So it's just, I'm glad I have it.
Yeah, that's nice.
Mhm.
So to get a tub of water.
You just find
water.
out where it is. Put some gum over it. We'll be good.
So true. The owner would say, sorry, it's out at the moment. So you have to keep browsing, end up choosing something random and discovering unknown gems.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because how many times did you go home from the video store without having anything?
Never. No,
Never. I did a few times, stupidly.
No, I had, I think it was maybe like $2 to rent something back then.
Yeah.
And I was like,
£2.50.
Yeah, and I'd always like even if it's something I've seen a billion times, like, oh well, they don't have Lady Terminator, so I'll rent SummerSlam '89 again. I don't care. Like I would always just rent something I've seen stuff a billion times. Doesn't matter. I remember the Ernest Film Festival tape. I rented that a lot, and it was kind of obscene how much I rented that.
When you could have just bought it for the same price.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of that, now this video store, like I said, there was like our family video store. So when we were kids, my brother and I were absolutely infatuated with the movie Rad, the BMX movie.
Oh, right, yes.
We loved it. We rented it so many times, but the store actually said, "Hey, you can just buy this." I think it was like, I don't know, $30 or something. We got it for our birthday one year. And so we had it. And to see what that damn tape goes for nowadays is just absolutely obscene. And we had it. Like, I could still have it. I have no idea what happened to it. I lost it so long ago, I don't even remember when I lost it. But we had it. And, that thing that tape in good shape will go for $80 all day long on eBay. Like, just to try. I don't know why. I mean, I watched it on YouTube a couple months ago.
Yes.
Just trying to relive the magic. And the movie sucks, man. That movie's terrible. What the hell, man? It's okay for what it is, but it's like, I don't know. As a kid, I loved it. Loved it.
We were a BMX Bandits household. So.
Oh, yeah. Never released on VHS over here. Never released on VHS.
I know it's an Aussie film, so it's always surprising me that.
It was always on HBO when I was a real little kid. That's why I always would see it. And I know they released it on DVD probably, I don't know, 99, 2000. But it was, the picture on the front was a picture of like Nicole Kidman when she's like 35. Like, it's like a completely inaccurate picture. Like, okay, that's not what happens in this film. Okay, whatever.
But yeah, because how did you watch the videos? Because my bedroom had a wardrobe at the end of the bed, and I had a portable telly set up on, like, to watch videos on. Well,
that's a pretty good setup. We had, for the longest time, we only had one television. It was like a big floor model that was in the living room, the main parlor, and that's where the VCR was, and that's where we'd all, if you wanted to watch a tape, that's where you went. Now, later on, like, as I became like a teenager, I eventually got a television in my room with a VCR, and I felt like, wow, dude, I made it. Like, I really made it. So that's basically where I would watch the movies, would be in my room. And it was great. They also gave me a cable hookup. I mean, I don't know what I did to deserve that, but I was living large back then. And I would stay up late and watch Up All Night on USA. When I was like, 10 years old, 11 years old, watching movies I had no business watching, like the Toxic Avenger, like, and it was on television, so it was kind of edited, but it wasn't edited that much because it was like on at midnight, so they could get away with a lot more.
They could get away with it. Yeah,
it was basically the full movie. And I shouldn't have seen it, but I did, and nobody could stop me. Yeah, I didn't know.
One VHS Russell rented was Phantasm and took it home and taped it.
The old double VHS
Unless there was security on it.
Yeah, the double VCR method. I had a couple friends that did that, and for a while, like when VCRs became like commercially available, sort of more affordable, less than $1,000, I should say.
Yeah.
Like in the early '80s, there were like double deck sets where you could record off of tape, but then people got wise. They're like, hey, what you're doing is illegal because you're recording movies that are like, anti-piracy laws. So they kind of quickly swept that under the rug because it was illegal. You're like, here you are endorsing taping of
why would you
material.
need a double decker unless you're
exactly
movies?
That's what they would advertise it for. Was you can tape your favorite movies and save the video fees. Okay, well that's illegal.
Your kid's renting the same rad video every week.
Exactly. Well, you just tape it.
Copy it.
Yeah. Stop being a schmuck and tape it. Tape it illegally, So they got rid of that, but that doesn't mean, you could figure out that, hey, if I get 2 VCRs, I could do the same thing. And people did that, So. Good stuff, man. Good times. Good times.
Yeah, pirate VHS were terrible quality, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Nothing like a copy of a copy.
A copy. Yes.
Garbage.
Jim lost over 200 posters into.
Man, this guy.
Yeah.
This guy's got to stop talking.
Pain, just
everything he says is just like, man, what a horror story.
Yeah. Let's go.
I mean, all I know is, speaking of that, anything that has Revenge of the Jedi on it is just like gold. Like that's just, I mean,
you could retire.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely fabulous. But
not to rub it in.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, whoops. Shouldn't say anything.
Ben would mainly go to the local video store as Apollo video. I think we had an Apollo at some point. Well, our local Blockbuster was so flipping tiny, never even had worth looking into because the stock was very limited. Yeah,
that's weird for a Blockbuster. Because usually they had like I guess, yeah. I know here, like if you went into a Blockbuster in one town and went into one, 20 miles away, it was like the same store. Like it had like a store model.
Right, yeah.
That's what they followed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're because different building sizes and shapes.
Yeah.
They were lucky with what they got. That one. I asked my video store to reserve me a copy of Jason Takes Manhattan, which seems really quaint now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
It is interesting.
Okay, my video store had a 5 for 5 deal. 5 movies, 5 days, $5. I watched the whole store in a few years.
Wow. I'm curious to know what year that was because I know a lot of video stores, like towards the end of VHS, started doing that kind of stuff where it was like just obscenely cheap to rent stuff for basically the entire year. Like, hey, $4, you can have it for 3 months. We don't care anymore. So, because I know, like in the earlier years of VHS, nobody did that kind of stuff because it was like that was just money. Like you wanted to tape $2 a night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
have it back. Yeah, by 6 months old, it would go down to like 2 nights or something. But yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm curious. Exploitation reviews. What year that was?
Yes.
I
have told you that in confidence, Mike.
Yeah, well, they exist,
Oh,
yeah.
I jumped the gun here a bit. Right. We had a video store called Video Centro when I was.
Wow, that's a great name.
Always have a movie playing on the TV. They had a good selection of movies and rented video games. Also, Street Fighter 2 arcade.
Wow, that's great stuff.
That's a good one. An arcade machine and games, and you could watch a film for free while you wait there.
Yeah, I mean, it was almost too much. Speaking of that, I remember when that new plaza had opened up. It was like, of course, big news. There was a ribbon cutting ceremony. I mean, it was a small town. It was great, but it was like this new fangled plaza. It's still there, by the way. But they had the video gallery was in there. They also had like a seafood restaurant, which in the area I grew up in, that was unheard of. And then they also had an arcade. So like that plaza was where it was at when I was a kid. Like
with the kids. I know.
Oh my God. Like it was unbelievable. Didn't last long. The arcade went out of business. I don't know why. They got lots of my money. I was keeping it open. And I say my money, it was really my parents' money.
No.
Poor souls. Man. Yeah. Just I'm a parasite, fucking parasite. And the restaurant went out of business, and the video gallery stayed in business. And one thing that really pains me about that is the video gallery went out of business, I want to say about 2001, basically when like DVDs were starting to come into power, and they just wanted out of the business. They didn't, whatever. So they closed up. And I'm thinking, if I had just stayed working there, they probably would have just given me most of that stuff. Like, and I could have like so much stuff, like so much awesome stuff. Because
I'll bring a van.
At the time, like that stuff, everybody thought it would have no value. Like DVDs are where it's at now. All this VHS is worthless. I don't want it. It's just garbage. Here, you take it. Which is why people ended up giving it to thrift stores. And this is how I got most of my collection, was buying stuff for a quarter that really shouldn't be a quarter. It should have been a little bit more than a quarter. And so if I just would have stayed working there, I probably would have had just so much stuff. But it's it's a catch-22, because at the time when I was like 17, I didn't really care either. And like I really wasn't into it as I am now. So it's like it really wouldn't have mattered if they would have said, "Hey, you want this stuff?" I probably would have said no.
Yeah.
But yeah, they had, especially Street Trash on VHS. I mean, that's like
trying to find that with the button that plays the sounds.
Yeah. And they had like the Dead Alive VHS. Remember the Dead Alive VHS? I don't know if you had it in the UK release, but the US version was like lit up and like had eyes that come out, and it was, man, they had all that stuff. They had all that stuff. I could have had it, but quit.
Yeah, so if you've got a time machine now, let's go back, kill Hitler.
Yeah. Like back then, man, you had no idea. It was just
it's like I ditched my fucking video collection the instant DVD came out.
Yeah.
So
exactly. Yeah, I mean, you just no way of knowing. So I don't know. You can't feel too bad about it.
Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Yeah, Ian would happily pay money to go back to the old video rental store, browse the titles, and bring a couple home. Seems silly, but I've been as excited about videos ever since.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's like, once you don't know what you have till it's gone. That's like
exactly
the truest thing ever said. So.
If you're in the UK, you can check out the 80s video shop experience. Where they,
oh yeah, there you go. Look at that.
In Alfreton, in the middle of England, where they've got their own VHS collection and all the good tapes. You can't borrow them, but you can have a look at them.
Go to the museum.
I remember me and someone waiting for a copy of Terminator 2, and they got the choice of 2 tapes, and the one I picked up didn't play.
Oh, loser! You played the lottery and lost. I'm sorry. You backed the wrong horse. That happens.
Yeah,
that's too bad.
People that broke tapes and didn't tell the person behind the counter.
Yeah,
it might. Some VHS were so long they came with 2 cassettes. I know Titanic didn't it in the US? It didn't here, so I don't know if because of PAL runs a bit shorter. I don't know.
Yeah, and I noticed like I did a little video about that, the double cassettes, and how like some movies they would put them on double cassettes even though they didn't have to. Like it was like a movie that would be like 3 hours long. And they're like, okay, you couldn't have like sprung for EP and like just give us one tape, or LP or whatever it is. And it's just like, okay, because I know like the 1942, 1492, that Columbus movie with
Gerard Depardieu.
Yeah, pretty good film, by the way. That had 2 cassettes in the U.S. and because I watched one night, I was like, well, the tapes are I'll finish. It was probably about, I don't know, an hour and a half.
Yeah.
So I said I'll watch the other one tomorrow night, thinking it was going to be an hour and a half, or like a little over or whatever. I pop it in, it's 40 minutes and it's over. I said, what is the point of that? So now, like, my whole night's screwed up because I thought the movie was going to be at least 2 hours long, taken up, and now I don't have that. Now I gotta read.
Go to bed early. What's going on?
Thanks a lot, Columbus.
Bob's my local video shop used to supply the original cover with the tape until people started saying the kids read the cover when they're actually stealing the covers.
Yeah, well, I believe that. Yeah, I believe that.
My favorite moment working in a video studio was when a lady came in and asked if we could fix her VCR. It had a grilled cheese sandwich shoved in the slot.
Wow, dude.
Bloody kids.
See, that's like what a unique experience that is. Only in a video store would you hear that.
Yeah, can't get it in a DVD player, can you? The old guy who ran the grubby video shop near me used to let the rent anything as a kid. Didn't give a shit. Yeah.
Yeah. See,
$2
every town had a grubby video store. There was always the classier one, and then there was the sleazy one, because that's what I was saying earlier. Yep.
Oh, Mike went for beta over VHS in the beginning.
Well, I mean, the thing is, though, you have people that contest to this day that beta was better quality than VHS. It just didn't have the commercial appeal for whatever reason that VHS did, and it didn't last. But you do have people who say that, hey, Betamax was better as far as like quality goes.
Yeah, there's another.
I wouldn't know the difference. I wouldn't know. I'm just taking your word for it.
You got a VHS player, you got a beta player playing the same film, and you switch over. I probably wouldn't be able to tell you which is the better one.
Wouldn't be able to tell.
Oh, V2000 videos. There you go. Hang on. If I click on the thing. Bloody hell. I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Is that the one that like came with within like this, you had to buy like this TV that had the player in it already?
I think there was something very special about it, wasn't it? That for some reason
it didn't last long.
No.
But it was like, that's what it was. Like you had to, it was like this big floor model television, and you put like these cassettes in that were movies. Yeah.
Those tapes were really difficult to rent in the UK, I can imagine.
Yeah.
We had the video vans in the back in the day, yes. They were shits back in the day. Yeah, they never had a great selection, because they were always like, what's the video shop didn't want? Because we were in the countryside, he'd drive up to the farm and open his book.
Oh, it's like a bookmobile.
Yeah, exactly. But it was just like a car.
Yeah.
Nothing fancy as in chills and stuff. Just a car. I guess the bumpy roads, the VHS would be all over the floor anyway. There you go.
Oh, whoops.
So glad you mentioned beta till 2016, kind of the same with Laserdisc from 78 until the 2000s plus. There you go. Yeah,
it is funny. Laserdisc, that's a thing where it was like, man, that went strong. Although, like you said, all the way to the 2000s. There was movies released on Laserdisc that I never thought were.
Yeah.
It's just like, for some reason in my head, I always thought Laserdisc were done by 89, and that's not true at all. Like, it's not at all, Like, I came across the Laserdisc of Terminator 2 in a flea market one time, and I thought I was having a dream. Like, I thought I was asleep. Like, what is this? Terminator 2 on Laserdisc, and I saw there was a Jurassic Park one, and like all this stuff. Like,
mid-90s at least, isn't it?
Yeah, so Laserdisc was a pretty big deal.
Oh, V2000 had to flip halfway through. That was good.
Yeah, that was the same with the CEDs, the RCA video disc. Like, you had to flip them over. And I think for a lot of Laserdiscs, you had to do the same thing, didn't you? Where like you had to flip them over.
Flip them.
Again, like much like a Betamax player, I never knew anybody who had a Laserdisc when it mattered.
I never saw a Laserdisc. Apart from I went to London once, and the big H&V shop selling media, and I thought, oh, what's this album? Nope.
Yeah. That's cool too, because if you go into like thrift stores, well, you call them charity shops over there, but like same premise, like they have like vinyl. If you like have the patience to look through them, you might find a couple Laserdisc in there, because those people running the shops, that they don't care. They're just putting them in, like, whatever. It's a record. I don't even give a shit.
Yeah. Oh, it's obviously a record. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a record. So, because they're the same size, like they blend right in with your record collection. Like, it's easy mistake to make.
Oh, it's a nice shiny one. That's £2 on that one.
Oh, it's just a limited edition silver vinyl. Okay.
50 quid.
Yeah.
V2000 players were at the weight of a small bus. Well, yes.
Yeah, and that's what we're thinking of then. Yeah.
Yeah, because when I had my first widescreen TV, it took 2 people to carry it.
Oh God, yeah, they were. Man, that was something else, dude. Back then, back when televisions were furniture, like that's
Yeah.
man.
It took up half the room.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Just don't put plants on top. My last independent shop, I got Ghost of Mars on Region 1 DVD and Get Carter 2000 standee, so I can't complain. Oh no, there you go.
Good stuff.
That's all right. Car. When I Google hot chick, I get a picture of Rob Schneider.
Oh well, yeah, you got to. I guess you got to be.
Yeah,
Google. Yeah, make sure your filter's off. You're going to see all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
On video 2000 tapes, you could record 4 hours on each side of the cassette. There you go.
Yeah, that's great and all, but really, who's got that kind of time? You know, like who does that? Like fills up all 8 hours of your blank tape. You know, it's like, man, what are you doing?
And now you've upset the Trekkies. Wrath of Khan is the best film. 3 is the best.
Yeah. Actually, I think I've been until recently, I've been of the mind of the old theory that every odd numbered Star Trek movie is shit. I used to firmly believe that until I watched them all again recently, and I changed my mind. I think they're all good. Like I really enjoyed all of them.
Even 5, I still enjoy.
Yeah, 5 was okay. I mean,
they ran out of money at the end. You can't blame them.
Yeah, I mean, I thought 6. I think 6 doesn't get enough love. I think 6 is really good. You know, I really do.
Oh, yeah.
And but you hardly ever hear about it. And 5 is sort of like just a long episode, and it's just like it never really feels like a movie, does it? It just kind of like feels like an episode.
Yeah, I had a lot of ideas, but they slashed his budget, which is odd. After it came after 4, which was probably the most successful one.
Oh yeah. It's 4 was just, man, what a ride. Because I remember as a kid, that was the first one I saw. I mean, you talk about being out of sequence, and it's like I had no idea what was going on, but I got it. Like I was like, okay. So there's something wrong with Spock, obviously. Had no idea what it was at the time. You know, I just went with it. They're not in the Enterprise. Like it's like, okay, but there's a story here. I'm just too entertained to care right now. You know, I was like, I'll find out later.
Yeah.
And I did.
You don't need to know. Because 4 was the first one I saw in the cinema.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah. 4, 5, 6. And all of them, I think, on after that.
I remember as a kid, that's like one of the movies that we actually owned on VHS was Star Trek 4 because we liked it so much that we had it, and we just didn't have a lot of tapes when I was a real little kid.
Okay,
you know, so but that was like one of them we had, and Wrath of Khan's good. The thing I kind of don't like about it is, okay. Now I'm gonna nerd out on you here. I'm gonna Trekkie out on you. Maybe people can feel what I'm saying here. Okay, in the Wrath of Khan, the film, Chekhov is the first member of the crew that you recognize at least to see Khan, and Khan for whatever reason recognizes Chekhov, even though in the episode of the original Star Trek that Khan is in first makes his appearance, Chekhov wasn't a member of the crew, nor was he a member of the cast. So how does Khan know who Chekhov is? He wouldn't know who he is. And Chekhov also wouldn't know what the ship, what was the name? The
Bartley Bay?
Yeah, Bartley Bay. He wouldn't know what the ship was when he lands there. There's a little indiscrepancy for me. I didn't really notice it till recently. Because I was like, wait a minute.
Allegedly, Chekhov was on the Enterprise. Just
okay. Okay, yeah.
Out of jail
okay, we'll go with that. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. When I was a teenager, I went to the spicy video shop. They had catalogs with numbered laminated covers. Guys behind counter played a bit on TV for you.
Ooh.
You nod approval. And he put it in a brown paper bag for you. There you go.
Not approval. I'm guessing that was for anything. Like, oh yeah, we'll do it. Yeah, that's good. Right. Yeah. Just put it in the bag. Get me out of here.
Saving Ryan's privates. But sex shops they were called here. So they were had to be 18 to go in, and they were only videos and toys and etc.
That's funny that you guys call them that, like so blatantly, sex shops, because that's what they are. Over here in the States, they're called adult bookstores. Oh, okay.
That makes more sense because you can't get any sex for these shops.
Yeah, it's just like adult bookstores. Okay, I went in a couple of them before, and I didn't see any books. I'm just saying, they're not selling books in there. Yeah.
Always got 3 videos and had to carry the mask home.
Oh wow! See,
making my heart now, Michael.
Yeah.
Oh, you action or horrors?
Yeah. That's what I always went for. Just action movies and barbarian movies. We've talked about it before. How many films? Yeah, like sword and sorcery films in the 80s. There was like so many of them, and I loved them. Like I would just rent them. You know,
they didn't get as many here in the little shops I had, but
yeah,
they had plenty of boobs in them.
Oh, we had some garbage over here, man. Garbage. just so much fun.
Those barbarian twins are fine actors.
Oh yeah, the barbarian twins.
Yeah, I was trying to think. We definitely had BMX Bandits. I don't remember Rad, but I kind of remember Rad, but I don't think it got a wide release over here.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Rad, same director who did Cannonball Run and Smokey and the Bandit, Hal Needham. It's kind of weird to think of that, but he directed it.
I've never noticed Scotty's missing his finger.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah. Yeah, I think I heard that before, but I forgot about it.
Yeah, I keep forgetting to look every time he's on screen.
Yeah.
But I guess he's probably not showing it off as much. You're not doing the Vulcan stuff. Mm-hmm. Sorry, Jim's long gone. Remember my mum and pop store being left alone in there because the bell on the door didn't ring. And remember popping my head around the door to see their living room. Yes, because so some of these places, they just live next door or upstairs like mine did.
See, that's I mean, in the States, like you can't do that kind of stuff. Like you have to be zoned, because the government's got to get their piece of the pie. Like you can't. Like you had a house over here and you wanted to just open up a store in your living room. You couldn't do that. Like it has to be zoned properly. Has to be like a business area. It can't be a residential area. It's like whatever. Okay.
I just want to tell the government. BMX Bandit household is hilarious. Yeah. I never forget seeing a friend's older brother's collection of taped movies and being blown away.
Yeah.
What type
of I had an uncle who did that, and it was just like any movie you could think of. Like, he just taped it. It's like, what a criminal.
Did he doodle any pictures, or did he just write on?
No, there weren't any pictures, but they were like accurately, titled, and it was their catalog.
Full title: A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4.
Yeah.
Freddy's, what was it? Dream
Warriors.
Warriors. No, that's 3.
Is it 3?
Dream Master 4.
No. Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
I'm losing myself.
I mean, because come on, after the first one, they all kind of run together, don't they?
Yeah, everyone just calls them Nightmare 5 and stuff like that.
Yeah. Like,
first time I saw
they got goofy. Oh
first
man,
time I saw Animal Holocaust was probably the 5th generation, which made me feel a lot more grumpy.
Yeah. Oh, that movie's rough, dude. Oh man.
I've never seen it because I don't want to.
Really?
Josh Cook's here. Hey, Josh.
Hey, Josh Cook. What's going on, buddy? You say you haven't seen Cannibal Holocaust? No, don't worry about it. If you want your life, if you want your life ruined, go ahead. But it's because it's a game changer, man. Game changer.
Oh, there you go. So the E.T. was the most probably pirated film.
Mm-hmm.
I watched E.T., but it wasn't the same.
Pretty disappointing, isn't it? Disappointing.
But because E.T. was released 82, it came out on retail in the UK 88.
89 over here.
Because
it was like a huge deal.
Very long time.
Huge deal when it came out, and
after all the
because I know, like, I always come across like pictures on the Google image search, like you just picture, like, you type in like VHS ads just to see what comes up, and one of them that comes up is like it's a British advert, warning against pirated copies of ET. It's an advert from CEC.
Okay, and
it's but every picture I find is like so blurry, like low res. I'm like, I want to post it, but it's like it's such a shitty picture. I can't, I don't want to post that. But it's like, what a good picture though. Yeah, what a good picture.
Okay, Josh's store had 7 movies, 7 days for $7.
Yeah, again, I want to know. I want to know what year. I really do. because
I think
I know around like where I grew up, or where I lived at the time, like 2000, 2002,
yeah.
all the video stores were just like, just take them. It's a quarter to rent them. Just we got to make
Just
money
walk
off
out
these
with it.
things. Yeah, they just didn't care anymore.
Oh yes, my video store had this distinct sense. Don't
Yeah.
know if it was the old movies or the guy behind the counter. Probably both.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is funny.
Yeah.
Video stores did have like a smell to them. It's, I guess it's because like all the tapes, like a bunch of tapes together, like they had like, it's not like, it wasn't a bad smell. It was just like an odd smell, like a unique smell. I was like, that's
Well,
a
yes, I
weird
guess it was
smell.
90% plastic and 10% metal, but yeah.
Yeah, it's just like, so if you get a bunch of them together, they definitely have an odor.
Rush was naughty. Had a great collection of pirate tapes.
Oh, uh-oh.
I can tell on you.
Yeah.
Rob says the 5 for 5 deal was 95.6. The deal didn't include new releases. Yes.
That's always the catch. Yeah, not the releases. But you
Yeah,
can-
how many times did people go to the counter? Right, these 5 new releases, please.
Yeah.
They should have cut a giant video tape of them.
Yeah.
That's a good store opening. Oh yeah, I'm
Yeah.
trying to think. Brain Dead. What
Mhm.
Dead Alive was called Brain Dead over here. Always confuses me.
Yeah, I'd heard that.
Yeah, we had Ritz video before. Where's my poster? Here it is. Little Ritz poster.
Oh, cool. That's
yeah,
neat to
we had
have.
Ritz, was the biggest store until Blockbuster.
Yeah.
Took over.
Yeah.
Captain, yeah, the one with the eyes.
Yeah, there was one that had like the glowing eyes.
Yeah, before the resurgence of
Yeah.
interest in VHS, people couldn't give away tapes in Mexico.
Yeah.
I would have always come across tapes in flea markets for
Yeah,
25 cents. Sadly, the horror stuff, yeah, people did keep the horror stuff, didn't they?
Oh yeah. I know, Professor. There was a time, relatively not too long ago, that you can go into a thrift store and find, the chances of finding some horror stuff was pretty good. It was probably about like 2014, 2013. But after that, it was like, no way. The door's closed on that. You were not finding horror stuff. And
I can't find any tapes locally in a video.
It's around here. It's finding stuff in the wild is not fun anymore.
Even Facebook Marketplace used to be tons of collections
Yeah.
I picked up 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Or 4 years ago now.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing now.
I mean, the best thing you have now is eBay. I mean, that's the thing.
Yeah,
and
that's how I get ones I need, because
that's how I got.
Got many times, and I just need the ones I want.
That's how I'm just been getting my stuff, and like you can I know that the eBay fees are pretty outrageous anymore, and the sellers compensate for that, and of course then you got to pay shipping and all that.
Yeah,
but you can find some pretty okay deals every now and again, and but my big thing is when somebody's selling something and they don't put a picture of the cassette itself. I'm like, I want to know if that thing is moldy. It's like, I've noticed a lot of people don't take that into consideration. They see, I got a bunch of VHS tapes, I should sell them. They have no idea that VHS tapes can get mold on them. And
these are the rare ones. They got white tape.
special fuzzy edition. And then a couple times I come across sellers that are, selling something I might want, and I look at the tape and I have to zoom in on it and say, what the hell? Covered in mold. And they're posting this stuff. It's like, I appreciate your honesty, but clearly you do not know what you're doing, because there's no way you would sell that, because that is just bad.
Yeah, that's a shame.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, there isn't a photo of a Ritz video inside the shop. For this thing, I was trying to find a decent picture, and the only one I could find was this diorama someone made of a tiny video store that would actually be useful. So finding pictures, cameras weren't readily available back then, but yeah,
exactly. That's why you don't really see that kind of stuff. I know I come across, I don't know, this pretty much the same 7 pictures on Google Images of a video store.
In the intro.
It's just and a lot of times the pictures you'll come across are these new because a big thing now is reopening video stores, and it's they're just basically like museums. And that's you know, it's like if you want a picture of a video store, you probably don't want that. You probably want like the real deal, you know. So
But
that's
yeah,
another thing.
they're always bad pictures,
Yeah,
quality wise, and
yeah.
and everything. Not
Low
the stock.
res is really big on Google. Really big.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
We're back. Yeah, I was going to say a few of the Stephen
Mhm.
King ones came on 2 tapes because I got 2 rentals of Storm of the Century 1 and 2. I got it. Oh yeah, my It is a single tape, I think, but
Yeah, I had
my
the.
standard double box.
Yeah, I haven't had the. I haven't come across the double It. I've only come across like the single version, and I mean, I'm only assuming it's a cut version of the film. I mean, I guess it would have
That
to
is
be,
probably true.
or like just a lower quality tape to fit more on it. But yeah, I like to come across the double It one of these days. But you know, I kind of don't like double tapes. I just don't like them. They don't look right. You know, like, you put them up with the rest of your
The ones
tapes.
they make here just never close properly.
Yeah, yeah.
I know you get
And like,
sleeves in those.
yeah, they just, I don't know. They just don't look right.
Yeah, Blockbuster was never as magical. It was
Mhm.
because you go in and you get your snacks and you drink and your video, and then you get the hell out of there.
Yeah, and plus, did Blockbuster have a back room? Did they have a naughty section? I don't think they did.
No, they had to.
So there you
There
go.
was a lot of horror films they wouldn't stock as well, isn't there?
Yeah, yeah, they were like you know, pretty censored store, and you know, it's, I don't know. That's why, like, when you hear like these articles about any kind of like retrospective, you know, some writer trying to be trendy and like, oh, I remember going to the video store. Blockbuster was the shit. I'm like, you're an asshole. Okay. I bet you think Domino's is the best pizza in the world too. You're a schmuck. Okay. You're just a you're just a hipster, man. Get out of my face. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have no idea what a video store is.
We had the fruit van, the rag and bone man, and the video van. Oh
wow, how about that? Yeah, that's an interesting concept. We did not have video vans around here. I had never even heard of that. That's pretty neat.
Avoid a catastrophe. There you go.
Yeah, yeah, what a mess.
Rusty's watching Tom Savini's Night of the Living Dead remake. Some DVDs were flippers, yeah. Titanic, you have to flip, yeah. Some of the, I guess, definitely a lot of the original ones, the vanilla discs. My parents' TV literally was furniture. It was wooden.
Yeah, yeah.
That's a good one.
Yep. Oh yeah. And you put stuff on top of it, like, you know. It was great.
Yep. We cut. Oh, there's cutscenes back in. Same with Friday the 13th. The odd number ones are generally the sleaziest. Yeah, 5 is awesome.
Yeah.
Turn the Blue Irises here.
Oh, that's a very poetic name. Very poetic name.
Oh yes,
Turn the Blue Iris.
The last resort for the bargain bin. The worst film we rented as a kid was Jekyll and Hyde Together Again. Very odd comedy. My mum thought it was going to be a tame hammer horror. She was very wrong.
Oh man, Jekyll and Hyde Together Again. I got to look that one up.
Yeah, I've never heard of that one. Used to love the videotape wrestling. They were quite rare over here.
Yeah, it's you had said that before on some other shows we've been on talking about that. Yeah, over here, like every video store had a wrestling section. You know,
right.
It was like, it was big. It was separate from sports because they had a sports section, then they had a wrestling section. And,
nice.
And they always had like just wild stuff, and a lot of it is like clearly they were WWF matches, but they were not WWF licensed tapes, and it's like, wow, you would never find that nowadays. I mean, because if like say like every time I'll try to like post an opening video of like a WWF tape, a Coliseum home video tape I have, I put it on YouTube, and like it's just like it's put into a capsule and launched off the planet. Like YouTube does not allow that at all. Like no way.
Some like clips before of a like you said, just a trailer for a video wrestling tape.
They don't allow any of it.
Blocked.
They got it on lock, man. Do not post anything WWF. They will kill you.
Yeah, they know where I live now. A lot of offline. Yeah, used to have video. They used
Yeah,
to be,
yeah.
Every shop had a little rack with videos. It was everywhere. Multiple mixes. I can smell your video shop. Would have to. Yeah, I've only got Cannibal Ferox 2, so I don't think I've got the other ones.
Lots of native movies.
Yeah, we had a global video, which I think was a chain. Made some good money selling bootleg VHS films until they stopped it.
Well,
how dare they?
Yeah,
for money.
Yeah,
yeah.
Well, they didn't like that too much.
The Devils, Blockbusters are too family oriented for TNA.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, as does 99p budget pizzas are the finest. Yeah. Never liked the Devils. Yeah, I'm thinking of rewatching the Devils, but please stop video once, which you've yeah, we had a UK version of Call. It wasn't as good.
I gotta look that up. I gotta watch that.
If you're that bored, yeah. Right. I finally caught up. Oh, Nanette says she can't stay, but she wanted to say hello and give a thumbs up. Very kind of you, Nanette.
Hello. Yeah, thank you.
Right. I caught up on the chat. So you got another story on your list there.
Yes. It doesn't have to. It doesn't involve actual like any movies at the video shop. It involves a customer who, and this was like I said, this was 97, and this is like kind of before. I don't mean, creeps have always been around, right? But it seems like nowadays they're more noticeable and people are more on the lookout for them. But back then, you really didn't think twice about it. You didn't okay, whatever. I remember one of my coworkers was a girl I went to school with. She was a year younger than me, which would make her 16 at the time. She was attractive at the time, it was just like, and I could say that because I was her age at the time. This old man comes in and just starts talking about like how great her legs are and like all this and like everybody in the store was just like we all instantly had scabies. Like we were all like just so like wigged out, like what's happening? And the guy rented his movie, which I think was, I don't remember what was the movie. It was some like World War II documentary or something. Because we had a special interest section. It was on the special interest section, and he rented because I remember it. Like that's like one of my key memories of that place. Just remember that was the first time, as a human being, me being creeped out by another human being's actions. It was just like that was like my first exposure to like a creep, and it was obvious. This girl, her name was Justine. It was obvious she was not of age, and he probably should not have said that. Like, because I remember the owner, Mrs. May, because it was Mr. and Mrs. May. I don't remember their names, but that was her last name, May. I remember she was working, and she was just like really like just appalled by this comment, and it was like, oh God, like what? And yeah, so the guy was kind of weird.
Hey, yeah, all right, child.
Yeah, it's kind of like, just get out of here, Gary Glitter. All right.
He probably was.
Yeah, it's, wow.
I know he was in Thailand then.
I remember at the video store we also rented Super Nintendo systems.
Oh, system.
Not just the whole system, and it came in like this foam lined attaché case.
Oh,
it almost looked like a sniper rifle we had like put together on a rooftop. I always remember like assembling those and rent those out. I think it was, what was it, $20 a night,
right,
or a day to rent the Super Nintendo. And that was again, like you think about doing that nowadays, it's so weird.
Yeah,
like
PlayStation 5.
Yeah, it's like nobody rents video consoles anymore.
Yeah,
back then,
£500, please.
Yeah, it's like if you didn't have enough to buy a Super Nintendo, but you wanted to play a game or two, you could rent one if you had $20. But it's like so bizarre to think you could do that. Yeah, I know they never had Genesis, like Sega stuff. There was there was a video store like in the town over that did rent Sega Genesis, I guess you could say, and like Genesis games. And I rented one once just to check it out, and that was just so bizarre to think you could just rent video consoles. You know, I mean,
well, yeah, I guess
yeah,
someone thought it was a good idea. It probably worked.
I know they rented VCRs too, but I never remember renting anybody one. I never really dealt with it, but I know that they had that option. So,
I guess they thought someone might need one.
Yeah.
For date night or something if this is broken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember at that store, as soon as you walked in, they had the wrestling section. So the first thing you saw was like wrestling, and just some guy with like just a blood covered face with like barbed wire wrapped around his head, and it's just like hardest hits of '87, like this kind of stuff, and like it's just a whole like just wall of this nasty wrestling. It was like, wow, it's the first thing you see coming into this place. And like the horror section, that was pretty much just like right off to the left hand side. They didn't really hide it. They're just like the nastiest covers, just right out there in the open. If I remember correctly, it was like right beside the family section too. So if like you were a kid looking for like Herbie the Love Bug, and like you strayed a little too far to the left, yeah, you strayed a little too far to the left, you were going to see some horrible stuff.
Driller killer with a drill going into his head.
Yeah. It was just great, man. Those cover art for the horror VHS, they were just fabulous. I remember as a real little kid, like just looking at them, and that was enough to scare me. Like I didn't need to see the movie. That's all I needed. I was entertained enough.
The early Elm Street ones did that for me.
Yeah.
Who's the nasty man with the knife fingers?
Mm. Yeah.
Oh, thank you.
I know, like the movie Happy Birthday to Me, the horror film.
Oh yes.
Like the cover was like a guy having like a shish kebab shoved into his mouth. Just like you see that as a kid, you're like, oh my god, I love it.
That's gross. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, we had some. Well, we had. I say that some of the UK. We didn't have a porn section, but some of the UK titles I've noticed looking things up now have nudity on the front, like Bolero with Bo Derek had her on a waterfall like this, topless on the cover.
Oh wow!
Bolero title on the top, yeah. And then the Entity, goes across the cover where she's naked and revealed, lying there.
Wow.
Yeah, I found a few of those now. I wasn't expecting, but I do remember the Bolero one.
Yeah, nothing like unexpected boobies. Like, holy shit, there's boobs.
Yeah, I think it's like Space Force. Life Force has ones on the back cover.
Mm.
Company of Wolves has someone on the front cover.
Yeah, that's I know in the U.S. there's a different. We didn't have that. We had which I think is also one of the most awesome pieces of cover art. Was like the wolf like coming out of the guy's mouth, like that famous picture. That's tremendous, dude. Tremendous. Like what? That's cover art. That's what you want, So that was the U.S. release. There wasn't any boobies on it. That's all I know.
Well, yeah, it's.
And I was really looking.
Corner, and then a naked lady, all covered in dirt, on all fours, pretending she's a wolf. I'm guessing.
Kinky.
Yeah.
Very kinky.
One of my upcoming videos is a top 100 80s horror films, but I'm using the old VHS covers as the list, so you can see what they look like. Some of the good ones.
A lot to choose from, man. I mean, it just seemed like, man, like every VHS cover really did their job. At least over here. I know you showed me some examples of UK releases that I think are a little less than noteworthy. Like like some of the Elm Street movies, just that you've shown me, kind of blow.
A few Halloween ones.
Yeah, see, that's just kind of dumb.
I think it's, what is it? By the time we get to Elm Street 4, I get given up.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, looks like a TV movie. It's
Yeah,
like an ad you'd see in TV Guide.
yeah, exactly. Because the first one they made a proper artist.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah,
That's
and then they
better.
thought, no one's buying these anyway.
Yeah.
And then
Screw
you
it.
got American Werewolf in Paris doesn't really sell it.
Oh, well, that movie doesn't even. That movie doesn't deserve bad cover art. But that's how bad that movie
They
is
should have tried if
terrible.
they wanted to make some money back.
Yeah, I mean, has to be the worst CGI I've ever seen, and I hate CGI. So,
Yeah, they thought, oh, we'll go with the flow.
oh my
Jurassic Park
god,
has great CGI.
well, that's another thing. It's so odd to me. The CGI as like an effects art form. It seemed like it hit its zenith when it first came out. Shouldn't it be the opposite? Like, shouldn't it improve? It
Well,
seemed
yeah,
like
because
Jurassic Park was like
Jurassic Park, they had the
the
proper model
pinnacle,
and use that, but now they
and then
just don't use the models.
then it went downhill. Like, it's not supposed to work that way, right? You're supposed to get better. You know, it's Jurassic Park. That stuff holds up pretty well.
Yeah.
But stuff like, you watch the Lord of the Rings movies and like Gollum. I mean, I'm sorry, for the most part, I think he looks kind of like shit. You know, I mean, I might be, alone on that, but I just think he looks
when they got the money for
kind of like, yeah, they didn't have a budget.
it. Actually, I don't think he turns up in the first one, does he?
No, not in the first one. You just kind of see his shadowed head. But,
yeah, so Radio Rentals, that's who we rented our videos and TV up. You could upgrade every year or every 2 years.
that's cool.
But I think it was a minimum of a year or something you had to sign up for. Didn't Blockbusters used to rent video recorders, or was it DVD players?
They might have done both. I don't really know, to tell you the truth.
Yeah,
I don't really have,
but
I don't have
I only went
experience
to
with
one
Blockbuster.
Oh.
Like I said, the only time I went to a Blockbuster was to get Doink the Clown's autograph. That was it.
I think it's funny renting a widescreen from a company called Radio Rentals. Yeah, a widescreen TV.
Well, it's just a broad name,
Yeah, we rented a lot. Wish I'd seen the glory days of Driller Killer, etc. in video shops, but it was only a wee sprog at the time.
Yeah.
Rented VCR from my local VHS rental school once. Oh, it was in a black carry case. It played tapes. It had no recording options. Oh,
yeah, they knew what they were doing.
Mm.
You listening, Russell? They didn't want you pirating their tapes.
Video players, were an insane price in the days. I guess renting them made sense. Yeah, that is true. Like £400 back then was a lot. Oh yeah. Ghoulies. Where's my Ghoulies tape? That's one that they made an effort, even though the Ghoulies don't really appear in the film.
Yeah,
They'll get you.
That's basically what the US release looks like. Only the logo's different.
Yeah. That's the budget re-release. So, fascinating. What kind of things I'd get to see if I rented those horror films? Indeed. Love Driller Killer. There you go. Russ likes Driller Killer. SS Experiment Camp had nudie lady upside down on a cross.
Yeah, exactly. That's going all the way. It's going all the way.
Yeah, fuck it. This is what the dads want.
Mm-hmm.
Ghoulies is a bit like the street chest cover. Yeah, that street chest cover could. Yeah, he's in the toilet.
Yeah,
melting away. I remember going to Stratford upon Avon when I was a kid, and there was a video shop, and they had a shop window full of cannibal.
Wow. Because I don't think the video gallery even had that. Like, there were some things they didn't have, but it wasn't much, man. They had a lot of stuff that you just wouldn't think. Because in this couple that ran it, they were like really, like I said, they were like really like straight laced. They're very like, God fearing. But
I'm guessing they probably didn't watch any of these.
But then they were like, "Hey, did you know that we just got Faces of Death 3 in?" It's just like, oh, okay. Wow, you have the whole saga. Yeah.
Let's put that on a special.
I'll see you in church.
I still remember my mate saying his dad bought a video for £800. Yeah, now you can get it for £8.
Yeah.
Someone chucked it out.
Yeah,
but yeah, so same with any technology.
I remember as a kid, we didn't get a VCR till, I don't know, 88, I want to say.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was like they were just really expensive, and about 88 is when they started like coming down.
Yeah.
You got like the $300 range.
Yeah.
Even that was still pretty expensive for just like an
Yeah, it would have
appliance,
been, yeah,
you know.
about $1,000
So
now.
yeah, I remember back then, we relied on HBO to watch movies. Like we had HBO. It was part of the really small cable package we had. We went from 4 channels to 12, dude. Okay,
Oh, whoa, living
yeah,
the
dude.
dream.
Just hang on now. Hang on tight. And the thing was, man, that was enough. Like we totally cool with that.
Yeah,
Because
because we had 4 in the UK on normal TV.
now I have 500 channels, and I watch 2 of them. I have no idea which channels I have.
Yeah, I never look. I thought,
Yeah.
I'm tired of looking through this lot. I know there's nothing on.
Yeah, you turn it over to channel 428 and catch the vegan basket weaving hour. It's like what is on these channels?
Yeah. So Dracula, when he was 5 in 1961. Yeah, that was early 80s money. Yeah, because we had our telly. We rented our first video. It must have been 83, 84 or something like that. And it was one that had a remote control, but it was on a 6-foot cable. So you had to sit on the floor to use it because it didn't reach the sofa. Yeah. And people would always trip over it.
Did you was it the one that had like the phone cord, like the spiral cord? Because
it was just a straight one. So the early one would have been a good idea because like
over here I remember there was wired remote controls that had just like the phone cord, the spiral phone cord, so you could stretch them. But still, it was like, it's not really remote control, is it? It's a wire,
Yeah. If it springs back, you have to get up and
it springs. You sit on the couch, you stretch it, let go, and you break your TV with the.
Yeah, I think having a lot of climbable in your video shorts is not going to sell. There was a Ferguson video star in the early 80s, so it was top of the range. There you go, £700 plus. So yeah, it's like the top loaders back then, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
With the piano buttons that needed 2 hands.
Oh yeah, yep, yeah, yeah. The top loaders just kind of, they would always break because that's just one more thing to go wrong because you had like the mechanism to open the door, and like usually that's what would go bad on those.
Yeah,
be like you couldn't even open it, or have to like put like a book over it to hold it down.
Yes.
Yeah. Which that's fine. I've had CD players that do that, like the top loading CD player. You got to like close the lid and click it.
Yeah,
like that little
the
spring.
Latch is gone. You're done.
Yeah, the latch goes bad, and you have to like put a book on top of it to make it play.
Tape it down with every time you want to play it.
Yeah, I did that for years. I wasn't buying a new one. No way.
No, if you can fix it yourself.
That's fine. I got plenty of books.
Laser.
I got plenty of books. God knows I'm not reading them, so I'll just use it to put my CD in.
That is true. Yes, that Paris cover looks as bad as the film Shitty CGI. Yeah, of all the pictures to choose, they choose the worst.
Well, it's interesting to me that
is true.
Like Werewolf in London, like those effects look great because Rick Baker's the man for one, and they're practical effects. So even when practical effects look bad, they still look real because they are real. So I don't know why they went with CGI for.
I don't know because
Werewolf in Paris.
You think it's a new technology, I guess, but I can't see a date. But was it 96, 97?
Yeah, I think it was. Might have been, maybe 98. I want to say. I know it was like a later film, but still, we didn't need it. It was a film we didn't need. I know. Bush did the song for it. It's called Your Mouth.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. There. But,
video TV shops like the one they visit in Henry County for a serial killer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Rumbelows and Granada, they're the ones we had over here. That's for renting out as well. Oh yes, and the silly bungee jump at the end. It just doesn't help the film at all.
Let's just not talk about it. We're gonna make everybody mad.
Henry had a problem at the time here. Yes. Cannibal Oh, it's called. Yeah. How many names has all these cannibal films have got?
I've always known it as Cannibal. I have heard the Jungle Holocaust thing, but I think it was where it was just like, there wasn't any rights to it, so it was like anybody could release it, and I think they just sort of repackaged it as Jungle Holocaust. It's like the same film as Cannibal, kind of like The Beast Must Die and Black Werewolf. Like that's sort of like the same thing.
Yeah,
same kind of tale. Yeah.
Yes, we do need a television license in the UK. They
That's
call it a
obscene.
license, but it's just to watch BBC because there's no adverts on the BBC channels.
Oh, I see.
They have to make the money from the license, but they call it a license to have a TV, but it only affects the BBC. So, last it's got another name.
There's a lot of names for it.
Oh yeah, has anyone ever bought a used VHS tape that looks like a proper movie with a slip and stickers? Is that actually a homemade naughty tape, or not? A homemade tape. Come on, Captain.
I've heard of this. I've never experienced it, but I've heard of this phenomena as well.
It's bound to happen, isn't it?
Yeah, that's just. I mean, the way this stuff works anymore is, people usually bundle up all their VHS tapes and they just give it to a thrift store, or they donate it to a used book shop or whatever. So they don't even know what's in there. So, and the people who put it on the shelves, they're not looking what it is. They're not making sure it's the right tape. They don't care. Would they care? No, I don't blame them for not caring. I don't even care. So when I look through them, I always make sure to check the tapes. And I've never come across anything like that, but if I would, I definitely would pick it up because I always like finding like really strange things. I came across a video. It was a G.I. Joe episode that it was the proper tape, but somebody like cut up the sleeve and made their own sleeve with it, and like it was like handwritten G.I. Joe, and they had like pictures from the sleeve on it, and I'm like, why did you even do that? Like you had a sleeve for it, So of course I had to buy it. And it's
the one of a kind. So
it's I was baffled by why anybody would put the effort in doing that. Like, it's an amateur job. It doesn't look too bad.
Yeah,
but still, why would you do that? It already had a sleeve. You cut up the sleeve to make a sleeve. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Let's see, and we got our first VHS recorder player in 1985. Had a remote control on a while. There you go. First Scotch tape we recorded in the red. Oh yeah, I got this. Moved up my fake book covers, tapes, taped Willy Wonka and then The Fog.
Wow, that's an interesting collaboration. Stay tuned. Tune in tonight for Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Then up next, The Fog.
They just merge into one, don't they?
Yep.
Oh my god, yeah. One of those people are having flashback nightmares now about players with remote controls. Ultrasonic. Oh, there you go. I did not know that. On one TV we had just a little plastic thing in the hole to turn the TV. Did you
see that's
when the knobs break off.
That's the real deal stuff right there, man. That's the real deal stuff right there.
Yeah, with Willy Wonka and the Fog, awesome combo.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, Willy Wonka is kind of a horror movie anyway. There are people
there's headless chickens or whatever being cut up in it.
There are people who hold to that where it is a horror movie and all the kids actually die.
Yeah, Anaconda, where we praise the amazing special effects on the back cover. Mm-hmm. Yes. Got my Anaconda here. Let's just see if no reviews.
It's not worth it.
No.
Just rent it and shut up.
Although super special effects terrific, it says on the American Werewolf back.
Okay.
Well, we hadn't seen stuff like that before. Yeah, I remember when you had to get up your ass to get the control.
And turn the dial, the big dial on the TV, the clunk, 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 clunk. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there's the thing.
I remember. I remember having a TV that had the VHF nozzle, the knob, and then the UHF knob. And I still to this day have no idea what UHF is, but I would always play with it as a kid. it would always be like these weird, like staticky, like stuff that's from like the videotape in the Ring. Like it's just like this weird, like these weird images. Like what is this? Like it's a TV station from Mars or something. It's just so weird.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Oh yes, Michael's found some jazz movies on the VHS. I collected. Well, I think it was first box of tapes I collected that were tapes off the telly, and one of them was a taped porno, a rhythm film, classic jazz. Oh, it's classic jazz. I'm sorry. Nice.
I should say though, Professor, I did recently come across a lot of horror movies I bought through a popular internet shopping site that were. It was the first 4 Friday the 13th films, Phantasm, and I think what was it, Village of the Damned. But they were all these weird, like modified slipcovers that were like. What? It was almost like they used to be like cut up ex-rental copies, like that would fit in the clamshell, but somebody like remodded them to put in a slipcover, and it was just like they were just so bizarre. But which one was it? One of them had where it was a blank tape that said on the label, it said, Jason. It was one of them was Jason Takes Manhattan. It said Jason Takes Manhattan and Monsters Inc. So it's like I have Jason Takes Manhattan and Monsters Inc. on the same tape, and that's what it is. I watched it like this is what is happening. It's so bizarre.
All right,
that's why I love.
Only watch the second film.
Yeah, I love like buying lots of stuff because you really never know what you're going to get, and
like a box of chocolates.
Mm-hmm.
Make custom DVD case covers. Yes. What? Where is it? I got. Someone made a custom. Well, there's a custom screen one that I printed off the internet. Stab, I mean, not screen.
Stab.
Yeah, you get the complete set of those. Used to have all my videos in those video library book things. Yes, they look very posh on the wall, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
I took mine upstairs now. I should have kept it.
Yeah, I know. Over here, MGM did a series of like classic films that they look like books, like leather-bound red books. And I have a Jekyll and Hyde. Well, I think it's 1939. Oh my God. I know MGM did a silent Jekyll and Hyde, but then they also did a talkie later on, and that's the one, and that's the only one I have.
Yeah. I think.
It looked pretty cool.
I can't see.
It looks like a book. It looks like a book. No, that's cool. Yeah,
like a book. So yeah. So it's got the disc there, and then it is the actual Frankenstein book there. Wow,
that's nothing like the movie.
No.
Who the hell is Henry Frankenstein? What the?
Exactly.
Do you know why they changed that?
Oh yeah.
They changed it to Henry Frankenstein because they thought Victor sounded too harsh and scary. What?
Was it David Banner in
Yeah, it's like okay.
Show, Bruce Banner sounds gay.
Okay, well.
Who else thought that?
Yeah.
That's a big fan of vampire films, and we'll go to the video store and come back with a movie about vampires. And then wanted to go back and watch the movie before I bought it. I didn't understand why at 19 years old exactly.
Yeah, nobody did. None of us did.
Yeah, damn sight creepier Willy Wonka than many modern horror movies. Yeah. Did anyone ever get in trouble for not rewinding their tapes when they?
No. My family, we were like really strict about that. It was almost like it was a verse in the Quran, where it's like if you rented a movie, it better be rewound before you take it back, because I am not paying that quarter.
I'm not returning Basic Instinct where they know I paused it. Stop it.
Because it's almost like a status thing. It's almost like a moral compass kind of thing. It's the same thing as not putting back a shopping cart when you're done with it. You know what I mean? Like not putting it in like the little trolley bin. It's like it's the same thing. It's you got to rewind the tape. There's
a special place in hell for these people.
Yeah, it's like you got to rewind the tape, put your shopping carts back, and let's all get along, okay?
Well, I did get told I needed to rewind my tapes or I get banned from there.
That's pretty harsh. Yeah, I wouldn't. I wouldn't ban you from the video store, but I definitely would, some kind of reprimand.
Little portable in the kitchen had metal dials on the front for color, contrast, etc.,
Mhm.
which used to give you a very minor etching shot.
That sounds about right. That's
Yeah,
interactive entertainment.
yeah. Wrong channel.
Yeah.
Both verbal and a financial telling off.
Mhm.
Hey fellas. Yeah, Rob's doing very well, so that's why he's not doing YouTube. He can't be bothered.
Yeah,
with the
he's
press.
doing well, man. That's why he's exactly right. Yeah.
Hello, Tommy. Loads of old UK's videos were in card slipcases and the shops. Always chop them up. Yeah,
Mhm.
I got a few X rentals that they thought, I know, make it
Yeah.
fit by destroying what it looked like.
Yeah. I got a couple too. It's funny about that. Like usually, if there's like a hard to find, well, first of all, when I look for a movie that I want on tape, and I look online for it, and I'm surprised to find out it's like hard to find. And the only ones I really come across is like one or two X rental copies, in like the absolute worst, like cut up, like clamshell crap, just a terrible job, hack job, and like it's like I'm not paying you $35 for that, dude. Get bent,
I'm not going to watch the film that much, but I want to see the covers. No.
Yeah, it's like if I want it, I'm going to want it more to have on my shelf than I do to watch it. And so, it's like if you're trying to sell it, put $5 on it, I might take it. But no, you're selling it like it's like a brand new, pristine copy. It's like, yeah, man, this is a cut up piece of shit.
Yeah, they don't understand, do they?
Mm-mm.
Then Russ bought a machine to rewind the tapes for him.
Yeah, there was the tape rewinders, which I never understood because every VCR I've ever seen has that feature. And I don't know why you would need another machine to rewind the tape.
Yeah,
maybe I'm missing something. I don't know, but I always like the ones that look like
room for video player. But yeah,
I always like the ones that look like cars. That like you plug them in, the headlights come on, like you like put them in the. Yeah, I have one, but it doesn't work. But yeah, the lights come on.
Oh, well, that's
but it doesn't rewind. So like a little red Corvette.
We had a black and white portable TV with a metallic dial that you turn to actually tune in to each channel like a radio. Yes, fuzzy picture. If you just didn't get it just right, there was like safe cracking back in the day, wasn't it?
Yeah, and if you walk by it, like it would like fuzz, like stay right there.
Yeah. Oh, he's got it. Nope.
Who
walked in and thumped it down a bit? If anything should have a reversal coverage, should be Jekyll and Hyde. Oh, look at that.
That's very true. Yeah.
Yeah. Those are the days, the dials on telly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. Different world. Again, if you try to explain to somebody that's like a younger person nowadays that the stuff you had to go through just to watch television, they wouldn't believe you. Like, but that was fine with us. Yeah, that was fine. That's what you did. We didn't care.
Yeah, it's like those ridiculous portable TVs that were called up.
Oh yeah,
like a tiny screen.
Yeah. Did you
watching your car?
Yeah, that's worth it. Yeah, it's Did you guys over there have the boom boxes that had the TV in them? Did you ever have that?
I had seen them, but not out in the wild. I think I saw them like catalogs or something like that.
Those were fun. Because I have a buddy who runs a record store and he also collects like vintage electronics, and he has one of those. Like apparently the major problem with those is the television is the first thing to go on them. Like they don't really last. And, it's like, and plus I don't know what even if one did work, I don't know what you would get. Like what could you tune in? Because nothing has antenna anymore. So
they turned everything off now, haven't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you probably get some weird stuff.
Yeah, because I used to have an hour-long bus ride to work, home from work. So I used to have a.
Can I just chime in? That sounds awful, by the way. An hour-long bus ride from work.
It might have been longer because it was a lot of stops, and it was across several counties.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry you had to deal with that, Gareth. I really am.
I'm thankful for that.
That's awful.
Yeah. buses are the worst. But yeah, I bought a portable TV, like a 2-inch one, color one, of course, and it was like £120. I thought, oh yeah, I'll invest in that. And of course, because it's a bus, you're constantly changing the signal.
Yeah. So it's
Tuning it
different
in.
channels. Every block is different channel.
Yeah. It wasn't worth it in the end.
What a bunch of shit.
Well, had a diamond metal area on top, which also gave the occasional shock. Didn't want to touch it. It didn't want you touching it, did it, Michael?
No, don't touch it.
Don't
touch me.
Yeah, took them out without rewinding to watch another film. There you go. Basic instinct. Can't understand the customers always leave it at the same point.
That beaver shot gets him every time.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess it's so. How long did it take to rewind a 3-hour film when you got it home? A few minutes.
Yeah, because I remember we had one and we used it, but I never understood why, because it didn't seem like it was any faster than the VCR. But we,
yeah,
it's one of those things you get for Christmas, and you pretend you like it, and you know what I mean, to be polite, and that's about it.
Oh, hang on. Where am I? Right, I went too far. There we go. Yeah, remember, never got the point where, the video shops could use them, but yeah, home video, you got one video player, I guess. Oh, well, I was with my grandma, and she knew what the guy might. Lenticular would do justice. Definitely high justice. I suppose no one's done that. Oh, there weren't those rewinders that would also blank a tape. Oh dear.
I didn't hear that. That could be a thing. I never heard that. Yeah.
But that's for destroying them. We probably had those with the portable area. The picture was perfect when you held up the aerial. Had to stand there to hold it. Yeah. If you're watching Fox, you need to stand there with the aerial up. Mm-hmm. Like the Bundys do.
Yeah, that was usually the youngest sibling's job.
On the television news back in the day, you used to say not to rewind your tapes in the VCR. They would get stuck in there.
Yeah, that sounds legit. That's that could have been a thing. That might be why they did that. Because there's a big fear of just It
does go pretty
fast.
There
we go. We got a confirmation. So apparently that's why it happened.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go.
I think probably rewinding it does get stuck because it does go fast and then gets caught on itself, doesn't it? Because it's very rare you fast forward.
Well, if you look up a video of the inner workings of a VCR and you realize how complicated the whole thing is, you're like, I'm surprised this thing even works. There's like a lot of moving parts, a lot of stuff is involved. It's because like you put it in, the levers open up the flap, and like there's a hook that comes and takes the tape out, puts it around the two heads, and then it's like and when it's done, it like folds it back in, and that's where the problem comes, because that a lot of stuff can go wrong there.
Yeah, when you pull a tape and then it's caught on
something. Yep, just pull it out, and that's a party favor.
Yeah, when it splits diagonally, that's the worst.
Yeah.
No
going back. There's no going back.
Splice. Yeah. You miss a shot.
Oh, it's the Captain Atom edit. It's the director's cut. The video head does the spinning wheel does the
there's like a that's the sound.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating, man. It's just like you see this and you're like, I can't believe this stuff even still works. Like there's so much going on here.
Don't jinx it, but yeah. How was it? Believe me, I know it did as much as I watched VHS eps. It happened to me all the time.
Yeah.
No, we still haven't. No, we still have an antenna, and we still don't get the channels on it where I live. Yeah. Good choice.
That's cool.
Sure. About as pointless as video players, which didn't have a record. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Nanette, there was at least in my region. I don't know where you live at, but it was, I guess, I don't know, 2005. There was a big to do that they were doing away with like signal television to where like antennas were obsolete. You couldn't get anything on them,
No.
and so everything went to like cable. So I never really tested that theory, so I don't know how true it actually is, because they could say they did away with the signal feed, but doesn't mean it actually exists, because waves are what they are and they're out there. It doesn't matter if the government can ban them all they want. There's still waves floating around. So I'm sure some of them still do work, but I don't know.
Yeah, right. We'll go. How many chats? That's the end of this chat, and we'll give it 5 minutes. It's been 2 hours already.
Oh, how about that? Time flies.
And it's nearly midnight. Oh, it's 5 to midnight.
Wow.
Time for a few more comments.
Yeah, Ian had a VCR that squirted. He had the squirter.
Hang on, let me read that again. As a kid, I was so excited we had a videotape with the round button on the edge and push it.
I never heard of that. That's awesome.
Yeah, because the ones I've got, you have to the fluid separate. You have to drop it in a little hole.
Mm-hmm.
But I can remember that. Yeah, I had one a few years ago. It ran out of fluid. You can't refill them.
No,
but yeah,
especially
thing, but
you're not getting them now. I never knew of a VCR that did that. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, because it's a tape.
Because I have a dry head cleaner.
Yes, I got both.
The one we had when I was a kid from our first VCR. It still works perfectly. It's great. Yeah, mine's an RCA one. It still works.
Yeah.
Still works perfectly. Knock on wood.
Moldy as fuck.
Oh,
nah, it's just white.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say. That's ironic.
Yeah. But I got a nice sealed one here ready to go when this one packs up.
Yeah, I bet you that liquid's dried out, man, because I have one too.
Oh shit.
It's like that stuff just dries up.
Yeah, it's like, what is it? Like alcohol based, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, oh well, you know what I mean.
Professor's got a collector question. Does anyone know if those magnetic strip Blockbusters and some other video stores put on the discs will mess up in the long run a DVD or Blu-ray player?
I don't know. I don't know much about DVDs or like disc, format. I don't know. I never heard that. Maybe. Might want to look that up. Who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't. I don't think I've got any X rental. Just like that. It takes 45 minutes of resentless hard graft to manually rewind. If you got a knife or something, to press put a screwdriver in the hole and then
a really big pencil. Really big pencil.
Oh, that's a good one. I've got a couple of cleaner tapes, but nothing like that. Yeah, it's the inside.
Well, he was saying it. He was saying it was the VCR that had the cleaning function.
It was a tape that does it.
Oh, it's like a self-cleaning oven.
Yeah, it's just like the one I showed, but it's got a ejector. The inside of a videotape is commonly enough. When you open them up and then try and put them back, and then all the bits just they got loose bits on both ends, and you gotta juggle it to get it together.
Well, that's why TV repair, VCR repair, that was like a major industry in the 80s. So it was you needed to be like a magician to know how to fix them.
Yeah, VHS head cleaners did two things. If you run it 100 times, you get something.
Yeah, I rented this movie called Head Cleaner. Worst movie I ever saw. Just terrible film.
Avant-garde, just static.
We'll
take the cover off and strip the paper with alcohol. There you go. I never got what those stripes were. Yeah. If ever my heads were screwed up, I used to run a tape and I didn't like. Run a tape you didn't like. And that was that was it. Yeah, that liquid will be trying to shit. Thank you, Mark.
Yeah.
I paid money. No, I didn't pay for them. I think I found it in the collection. All right, take care, Russell. Thank you. Bye, Russ.
We'll see you, Russell. Thank you.
Yeah, manual rewinding tapes is not fun.
Yeah.
It's
No, it's
a 3-hour tape will set you back half a day.
to be thankful for the mechanism.
Yes. I know I've had a few people teach me how I just can't be asked. Head cleaner reader. Yes, indeed. Well, if you close up shop before your description, close up shop.
Yes.
Glad to see you, Captain.
Thank you. Thank you, Professor. Good to be seen again.
Caught up. The thing about the head cleaner film, you don't rewind it.
Yeah.
So there we go. We're caught up. We've just hit the 2-hour mark. So all I need to do now is thank the captain for his lovely stories.
Well, yeah. Thank you for having me on. It was a pleasure telling my stories. Nobody ever asked me before. It's a part of my life that I sort of just never really talk about because no one really gives a shit. So it's but it's it's interesting to know like the path that I'm on now, like it's pretty much forged from VHS and home video, and it's interesting to know that that's my first job was working in a video store, and I'm very glad that I did that. It was a very interesting experience and a very unique experience, one that's really hard to explain to kids nowadays. Like, they're like, "What was your first job? What did you do? Like, what?"
Why did you have to leave the house to get a film?
Yeah, it's like I was the guy that rented the molten oil to the guys on the ramparts of the castles that poured them on the invaders. Like that's basically what I was. So about how obsolete of a job,
Yeah.
But yeah.
So you got there you go. Lovely memories. Yes, they are lovely memories. Pretty much everyone has a similar situation than they were.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's good stuff, man. It's like you start talking about it, just sort of like opens up everybody's memories, and they're like, "Oh yeah, I remember that."
I remember.
Everybody has fond memories of a video store, man, and but just not many people worked at them, and I'm glad I did.
No, I haven't found many.
Yeah.
So that's an expert on. Just it's birds on it's birds in the garden there. Every so often I hear chirping sounds.
Yeah, it's I'm broadcasting from Lothlorien, so just letting you know.
Those things are called trees for those that haven't been out for a while.
Yeah, trees, buddy, trees, foliage. Look at that, it's fucking Brachiosaurus back there somewhere.
And then his private golf course is just off to the right.
It's right over there. Yeah.
The landing strip is on the other side, isn't it? For your private plane?
Yeah. My helipad.
Yeah. Oh, helipad now. Oh, that's a new feature.
Yeah.
That's
I need to. Yeah.
John Travolta's stopping by later.
Yeah, he is. We're gonna talk about Scientology.
Oh, we've hit a nerve, right?
Oh, I'm gonna get an email.
We do not talk about that or Fight Club.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. So yes, thanks to Captain Adam for joining me tonight. And
well, thank you very much for having me, Gareth. Thanks.
Russell, Ian, Turn the Blue, Iris, Professor Macabro, and everyone else in the net who was here earlier, Tommy Gunn. We shall see you next time. Oh, I might as well post tomorrow night at 10. Freddy's Dead in 3D.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I'll
be watching. Yeah. I'll be watching. I'll hang in for as long as I can for that, though, Gareth. I mean, I'm an old man now, so 10 o'clock for me. I don't know.
10 o'clock. Oh, what's that? 3 p.m. your time. Yeah. No, 5 p.m. Sorry.
Yeah.
So there we go.
Yeah. Well, that's true. So yeah.
It's
I'll
10 p.m. tomorrow. Not an early one.
I can't get that straight, dude. Time zones for me. I'm so worried about time zones.
It didn't work out last month because it was like 2 weeks between America changing theirs and us. Was it really?
That's so bizarre. How am I supposed to get used to that?
I know.
How's anybody supposed to get used to that?
Every time it comes around, they say, "Oh, we're going to ban them." That's pointless, and then they never do.
Yeah, they say that here too.
Thanks, Michael.
Never do. Never do.
Oh, Ian's off to return some video games.
You better do it, man.
Yeah, you might
I'll
be
put a head out on you.
That's going to
They'll
be
get
expensive. So yes,
They'll
we are
get-
watching the 3D version.
Yeah.
So the 3D version will be on the small telly on the screen, and I'll be watching the 3D version here, trying to make sense of what's going on. Right. All right. Take care, everyone, and good night.
See you, everyone.